Howdy, and welcome to the Feed Bandit podcast, where we talk all things hunting and introduce you to innovative hunting products and services. If you want to level up your hunting game and gear, be sure to join the hunt. To join the hunt, text the word BANDIT to 345-345. And when you do, you'll join our email list, where we'll send killer deals on innovative hunting products and services, along with entertaining tips and tricks straight to your inbox. Again, text the word BANDIT to 345-345, and we look forward to seeing you on the hunt. Hey folks, Jimmy here. I just wanted to let you know of a killer giveaway contest that we're running right now until the end of July. We're giving away an amazing $250 gift card to Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. If you've been wanting to get some more of that killer gear you've been needing, then you'll definitely want to sign up. Just head on over to feedbandit.com and enter today. And don't forget to refer all your hunting buddies and you'll get additional entries into the contest. Details are at feedbandit.com and click on the giveaway contest link at the top. Good luck! Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast. Jimmy here, as always, and as always, I am joined by my Corn Bandit Richard. What's going on?
Good. You caught me in mid stretch. I'm much better now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I thought about it, caught you in the middle of something else.
Yeah. Yes. No.
Okay, awesome. Well, so in this one, I think we're just going to talk about a potpourri of little hunting things that kind of went on lately. You had a good weekend down at Rancho Bandito that unfortunately I wasn't able to attend.
Yeah.
Other life kind of unfortunately preceded that, prevented me. Yes.
Man. Do you remember how to get there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, in reality, though, you made 3 or 4 trips during turkey season. I mean, really, the fall is really what counts. But I mean, I could definitely.
Well, there's always work to be done in the summer, though, right?
That's very true. Yeah. No, that's very true. Yeah.
Well, but So I don't know. Start us out. Where do you want to start?
Oh my gosh! No, it was a really fun weekend. It was one of those weekends with some good friends and of course a lot of kiddos. It was a really educational weekend too. We learned a lot and the kiddos really got a kind of some firsthand knowledge of snakes. Fortunately and unfortunately. So
a good teaching experience, right?
Yeah. No, they're really was. Yeah, we'll jump into that little ditty first.
All right.
We were out on the dock. We're on our dock that overlooks the house tank and just doing some fishing. The kids just slaughtered the bluegills again. And we really haven't touched a lot on like actual how to set up kids for success in fishing, but we really need to, because fishing is kind of the gateway drug, if you will, to the outdoors and the hunting. I mean, I quite literally cut my teeth crabbing and catching croaker and stingrays and little reds down there in Galveston, and so trying that same recipe on my children and my friends' children has really worked. And fishing
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of, dude. As long as we can keep old Jeb from jumping in the water and drowning, it'd be time for him to reel up a shell cracker too. So,
oh yeah, no question about it.
Yeah.
I remember I got my start introduction gateway drug, I guess, was in Indian Guides.
Yes. Oh God, don't say that. It's highly offensive.
That's why I wanted to say it on this podcast, because
God, that makes me so angry.
Yes,
so freaking stupid. Ugh, get me started. Yeah, I was brave little hawk. Who were you?
Yeah, I was running deer.
Nice. Guess what my dad was?
Wild turkey.
Yes. I've already told you that. Yeah.
What was your so we were the Mescalero Apaches.
Oh, nice. We were the Pawnee Braves.
Oh, okay.
In fact, wow. I just remember the jingle, and it goes a little something like that, like this. Strawberry soda, raspberry fizz, Pawnee Braves, as bad as we is. Now that is,
Did you write that?
That's like 6 years old, buddy. I did not actually. I did not. So
Yeah,
I remember
won the.
I couldn't write when I was 6.
What are the weekends down at? I forget the name of the camp, but it was at
Camp
Possum
Grady
King.
Spruce.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
And Camp Grady Spruce. That's right. I won the fishing award for the biggest fish.
No kid.
And I got it's a deer skin, is what they gave as the like the prize or whatever.
That's very cool. Very cool. We didn't do a whole lot of fishing down there. And honestly, I was just so obsessed with looking at all the deer. I mean, I'd just sit there. That and climbing all those cedar trees. That was kind of my thing. But boy, wow. We could do a whole podcast on Indian guides and Indian princesses and all those other offensive things that made us good stewards of the land, but you can't say it anymore. Anyway, so we were on the dock doing lots of fishing, just your typical little bluegill rigs, and we were catching all kinds of just some gigantic bluegill. And I think we'll do a fishing piece and we'll post some pictures of it. But some of these bluegill will absolutely wear out. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God! I don't know what just happened there.
Oh, wrong pipe.
I'm getting my bad Batman voice again. So sorry. So some of those fish.
Tell all the bluegill about me.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, wear out those little kid poles. So the kids just love them. They can barely hold on to them. Anyway, we were having a great time, and our good buddy Ty, his son, actually caught a catfish. Then. Ended up breaking one of the poles.
Oh man! Like the pole actually broke.
Oh yeah, actually broke it. It's right in half. And of course, Ty, he's very good with words. He's like, "Well, there goes that one," And it was chaos. But this was a monster catfish, and of course, Bo just loved it. So it was a really good time. But really, kind of a little towards later in the evening. Everybody kind of, vacay of the dock, and it was me and another couple of our friends, and I think Bo had left, Tyson's son, who had just caught the big catfish. So we were just sitting there kind of enjoying the evening, and I just happened to look at my peripheral vision to the right, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, here comes a snake. That's and you got to realize this dock is 100 yards out there in the water. I mean, this is not a dock that's close to land. And sure enough, here comes this snake. I'm thinking, okay, well, this is probably some sort of water snake. And my good buddy pointed out to me, he goes, "Nah, that thing's venomous." And I'm like, I don't know how the hell you can tell it's venomous from here. And he reminded me that, the venomous snakes apparently, I guess, have the ability to kind of inflate. Or the venomous snakes that don't really do well in water, okay, have the ability to kind of inflate themselves and kind of sit on top of the water, whereas the actual dedicated water snakes are more beneath the surface and their heads kind of above. So,
well, that's good. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't have my phone on me, or I would have Googled the hell out of it right then and there. But sure enough, here it comes, and I'll be damned if it isn't a little foot-long rattle bug. I just stunned. And of course, we were just stunned. Like, what is this rattlesnake doing out here in the middle of the damn water? Why did it swim to us?
Yeah, where did it come from? Like, what angle did it come from? The shore, or was it seem like it was coming in from the?
It came from the exact area where I attempt to shoot ducks, except for last year. Okay. And it's just, again, totally bizarre. It basically, and then of course it went out of the dock, and we're all looking, trying to see, whatever. And then it basically took off straight into the south wind. And we were thinking to myself, my God, that thing's going to have to eat a cow if it gets to shore and doesn't get pummeled by a big bass. Because it was going into a 20-mile-an-hour steady wind. So that was kind of the first just bizarre run-in with a snake. And again, at Rancho Bandito, we see snakes, okay? We definitely got them. But we just don't see a whole lot of them. Fast forward to Saturday evening, and we were kind of taking an evening drive with the kiddos out looking for baby deer, which is a lot of fun. Of course, one of the problems is, unless you have a population of deer that are deaf, it's really tough to be in an open air vehicle with 5 or 6 children, half of which are girls. Of course, it's just a ball, but they're giggling and screaming. And again, you ain't going to see no deer. Right. But we did end up seeing about a 4-foot rattlesnake come flying across the road.
Wow.
He was cooking. It was right by the TH tank, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
Which I've seen him before. Actually, it's right where you shot your turkey, right near there.
Okay.
He came flying across the road, and he was moving so quick that the kids could hear his rattle too. Now he wasn't rattling at us. His rattle was just making noise because he was moving quick.
Right.
So that was a really kind of a cool experience. Well, the coup de grace, as they will, and I don't speak French very well, would be the following morning. So Sunday morning, my dear good friend, and you'll be seeing pictures of this if you haven't already. My dear good friend was packing up his pickup, okay, and he parked. It was kind of a warm weekend, okay, so he parked his truck underneath a tree, and his passenger door was probably about 2 or 3 feet away from the trunk of this tree. All right, and then down below the trunk of the tree was just, gravel. Okay, so it was nothing big. Okay, there wasn't any bushes or anything like that. Well, this is just proof that, man, I don't really care where you are, unless you're in downtown New York City, which if you are, I'm sorry. You've got to be alert. You've got to look down every single time, because as he was about to go into his passenger door, he took one step, and just a foot or so away from him was a rattlesnake, all coiled up, and did not rattle, did not make a sound, which is just terrifying. I have come into contact with a bajillion of them in my lifetime, but the ones that I almost stepped on or got too close to, which has probably been about 5 or 6 times, have always rattled, and this guy did not do it. So, I'm not one of those hippie guys who's like, save the snakes, bro, but I'm definitely one of those guys who, if I'm out there in the bush and I run into a snake, I'm going to let it go. Okay. Because guess what? If the English would have had snakes back during the Black Plague, you wouldn't have a Black Plague because you wouldn't have any damn rats. Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So, and the snakes could have also taken care of their bad teeth too, but that's a different story. So it is, so I just kind of let them go. However, when they're around the house, okay, and when they don't rattle, dude, come on, man. You just don't leave me a lot of choices. Anyways, my buddy didn't ask for permission, but he popped him a couple of times, and my buddy recoiled him up and put him right there. And so, when we talk to the kids, basically from, March through, December, okay, we're always like, kids, listen, look before you walk, all right? Don't just run out there like an idiot, okay? This is not Dallas. This is not Lubbock. This is not the city, okay? Look before you go out there and run somewhere. If you pick something up like a rock or, maybe a kite or a Frisbee that's out there on the lawn, out there in the country, kick it before you pick it, okay? That's been kind of my saying that I kind of coined, trademark, years ago, and it really helps, because you have no idea what's underneath there. Not only snakes, but you got scorpions, God only knows. So
right,
we ended up getting the kids. I got a great picture of it. We put it in the back of his truck, and I kind of, as you know, I can block the view of virtually anything. I kind of stood in between the snake, which was, I got to admit, was kind of crazy because he was like right by my leg. I stood between the snake and the kids, and we said, all right, we want all of y'all to look down here and tell me something that doesn't seem right. All right. And so we got 6 or 7 kids in the back, and it took them, I'd say a good, minute 30, something like that, to pick it out. And Bo, Tyson's son, is the one who said snake.
Really?
And everybody else was kind of, and
wow.
that's because it blends in so damn well.
Well, if you look at that picture, like when you sent it to me, I had to zoom it and look, and it was like, oh man. Yeah. It was a perfect camo.
Oh, that's spot. I tell you what, God creates the best camouflage.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So, And they were kind of like shell shocked, like, oh my gosh, especially the kids like my kids, they go there all the time. We're constantly, watch your feet, don't run, watch your feet,
Mm-hmm.
and they think we're saying it just to, whatever, just for practice, but it's the truth. So that, I think that lesson really hit home with them. And of course, during that time, I think we got pictures of it too. I actually picked up the snake and we showed them things, and they got to see the rattle and hear the rattle and, all that kind of stuff. So again, hated to kill the thing. Again, I'm not some freaking liberal hippie, whatever, that's against killing snakes, but it was a really good lesson. And quite frankly, I may have just saved myself or my friends about $40,000 worth of damn anti-venom, because getting bit by a bug or anything like that, man, it is expensive. So, yeah, a really valuable lesson. And you just gotta watch where you're going. Those things high. I mean, they are out there 24/7. They are making a living hunting, looking for food and staying hidden, and their camouflage is great. So you
can't rely on them to rattle when you're.
No, you really can't. You really can't. And there was a rumor going, not a rumor, and I have to see if I can maybe. I know I didn't hear it on the internet, but I heard from some old timer sometime not too long ago that they were saying, the power of nature. And I've always said you can't jack with Mother Nature. Mother Nature is going to win, okay? And no matter what you do, humans are just not, we're not the greatest thing on earth.
Well, I don't know. So you're saying we're not affecting the global climate?
No, well, yeah. Anyway, I mean, maybe a little bit, but no. What I was going to say is, of course.
No, the answer to that is I don't think we are. But anyway.
Yeah. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. No, that's what they were. No. They were saying that some of these old timers were saying that for example, like with what is it? The Cape buffalo. So the Cape buffalo, they had said that because there have been so many of the old bulls killed by hunters, which I think, or poachers, probably more poachers than hunters, obviously, that the cows are now starting to circle the bulls, and that's something apparently that hasn't happened much. Again, I'm trying to remember, but the other one they talked about was that the rattlesnakes. They said that there are more rattlesnakes that are starting to not rattle because it gets them killed. So they're saying that humans or whomever are killing all the rattlesnakes that rattle, and so they're changing so they don't rattle as much or something like that.
It's evolution.
And I'm like, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm like, God, if that's true, I mean, that is absolutely fascinating.
No, yeah, totally.
So I've always wanted to fly. So I'm hoping that maybe the fat under my arm starts to stretch a little bit more, and I will jump off a building and try it. You never know.
So well, maybe it could be more like a blimp. Or
yeah.
Or like a...
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Hey, you
Sorry.
start.
Yeah. No, I definitely walk into that. So. Anyway, but that.
Hey,
that
I'm not far behind you, so don't.
Yeah.
Hey. I'll be right there with you. I may not be as high in the air, but I'll be up there.
Sure. We'll be up there together. That's what's fun. So yeah, that was kind of the snake thing. Again, just a really cool experience. I think the other thing we did that was really cool is the whole fish habitat, and we did a video on this. And I think you're gonna be doing an email on it as well. But back summer of it was last year, August 2018, the house tank was dismally low. I mean, it was just awful. It's been lower, of course, and it'll be that way again. But it was really, really low. And one of the things that we had talked about wanting to do is, we spend so much time focusing on the management of white-tailed deer, of axis and blackbuck and turkeys and ducks and everything. We always forget about the fish. And the fish, they obviously they can take care of themselves, relatively speaking. But when you start to see signs that your pond is not doing well, then sometimes you got to step in. For example, the largemouth bass in our tank, which when it's full is 10 acres, we're very stunted, and you can tell that a bass is stunted because if you look at a bass, they got their big gills. Okay, well then their body is supposed to be, if they're a healthier fish, their body is supposed to extend outside of their gills. Okay, So when it doesn't do that, all right, and there's an indention, you've got a forage fish issue. AKA you don't have enough bait. On the same token, if your bluegills are ginormous like they are at Rancho Bandito, when I say ginormous, I'm talking like frickin' frisbees with fins, you know that you've got too many bluegills. And so there's kind of your problem. So what do you do to resolve that? Well, you take a buttload of bass out, and we've done that. You also take a buttload of bluegill out, trying to kind of even that up. And the other thing we've done to try to help the bass is add some more cover in there, okay? And the reason why we're adding cover is because it's the whole food chain principle, right? So if we're adding cover in there, and what we did was, to kind of backtrack here, in August 2018, we ordered 2 pallets of cinder blocks. And so we got out there, and it was hotter than Hades, but we created these big cinder block piles, and we made them so that, the little fish could go in and out, but the big fish really couldn't get, they really couldn't get in there too much, all right? So in essence, what we basically did was we created a very nice, kind of an ecosystem there. And so on the cinder blocks, you had a bunch of microorganisms. You had the moss and all that kind of stuff, little insects were on there. Okay, well, what eats them? Well, the little fish eat them, right?
It's like a little reef.
Exactly. No, that's exactly what it was. It was a oh my God. It was a Texas coral reef.
There you go.
Texas concrete reef. I don't know why the hell I went all the way to Jamaica to see that crap. I think ours was a hell of a lot prettier anyway. But no, it was really cool because, so we knew that this was going to be a big hit. So we set up all these little Texas concrete reefs, and but as the months progressed, okay, September the rains came, ruined my dove season. Still not over that one. In October, I mean, they really came. We got over a foot of rain in October, and then really through the winter into the spring, and now even to the summer. I mean, it just rains and rains and rains. So we are happy campers. I mean, the overall ranch condition is outstanding, and the tank is completely full. So me and my buddies said to ourselves, we said, hey, let's go down there. And because we can stand on the dock and we can see all the structure we put in there, right? But let's get down there and see what we can do. So we got our little snorkeling gear on, and we got my GoPro camera, and that's what we did. And so the video is going to show some of that. But
it's pretty crazy, the difference in the water level.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It is absolutely crazy.
We'll definitely have pictures of all that stuff in the podcast show notes page, and you'll get it on the email when I send it out. So it's quite striking one year to the next.
It really is, and it was really fun just to see. And again, when I was filming this with my GoPro, I couldn't really see all the fish because my mask kept fogging up. But looking at the video, especially around the little Texas concrete reefs, is fantastic. And it was really, really cool to see all those little fish there. And in essence, what's going to happen is that's going to help them, hide and grow in numbers, and that's going to start helping our bass out, So that was really cool. On the flip side, we do have a ton of grass in that tank. So again, too much too much grass is too much cover can be a problem. So I mentioned in there probably several times that we need to get some grass carp.
Yeah.
And get those taken care of. But we don't talk a lot about lake and pond and lake management, but it is something really cool. If you've got a hunting lease and you're starting to notice some of those things, maybe that's some of the things you can do. Get out there and take some out. We actually took some bluegill out, like I said, and we actually we cooked them up whole. So I've got some great videos on that, and it was great. The fish was really, really good. And kind of a cool experience for the kids too, talking about getting out there, catching that fish. And I of course cleaned them while my buddies drank beer and laughed at me. That's a different story. And then I cooked them up the next day, and they're like, man, this is really good. And I said, yeah, and guess what? You caught it. And I told them, this is the way it used to be. So again, it kind of puts things in perspective, brings them back to the old school times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, talk about how you cook those again. Walk us through that.
Right. So, one of there's a couple different ways you can cook bluegill. You can, I think the traditional way of doing them is filleting them. Well, the problem is when you fillet them, unless you're really good with a knife, You're really good. It got a lot of practice. It's tough to really utilize to get all that meat on there. So what we did is we cooked them whole, and so what we basically end up doing is you get the fish, you basically chop the fish's head off, and I'll tell you what, we're gonna do it again when we go back down there. I'll see if I can get a video of me doing it. There are several on the internet, but of course mine would be superior, and if anybody will actually watch it. And so what we do is you cut the fish's head off, right? And you throw that away. And then I have a little scaler that I use, and you take all the scales off of the skin, but you leave the dorsal fin, the pectoral fin, and all that. Okay. Then you get a knife and just kind of gently slice the belly and just remove the entrails. Okay, and that's it. You're basically done. And so you've really got a whole fish. You're gonna be able to eat the whole thing. So what we did is I took that fish, rinsed it off, made sure all the scales were off of it, got a pasta pot, right? Filled it with water and salt and just kind of soaked it in there for it was a little under 24 hours. And I think we had about 10 fish. And then the next day we pulled them out on the stove top. I just put some canola oil, peanut oil, olive oil, anything will work, I think. Let it get warm, and then I took the fish out, pat it dry with a paper towel, and then I just used some what was it? The Louisiana fish fry mix, and kind of just powdered it with that, and then shook the excess off, and then put the fish in there. And I'd say that I probably did them, 2 or 3 minutes per side, and then flipped them. And then I let them cool, and then God, they were outstanding. It doesn't feel like you're really eating fried fish, but the skin is edible. I mean, it was outstanding.
Really?
So it was, oh God, it's wonderful. And it just kills me because I've known about this my whole freaking life, and we used to eat them like that back in the day, but I hadn't done it recently. So, and basically how you eat them is, first of all, wait till they cool, because when you open them up, they will burn your fingers badly. But then
you kind of like the fried chicken at the place we like to go eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Burn the top of your mouth off.
Yeah. That's right. And you go to the dentist, you're like, God, you have trauma on the top of your mouth. It's like, yeah.
But it's so good.
It's either queso or Chinese chicken wings. So what you basically do is you take that top fin off, all right, and it'll pop out very easily. And then you basically just get your fingers and just kind of gently pull the meat away from the skeleton. And then once you do it, it literally looks like one of those skeleton fish that you see on like Looney Tunes,
Right.
Like the cat will pull out of a trash can. And it's outstanding. The meat is white and flaky, and it's really freaking good.
Huh, I'll be.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And of course, the bigger the bluegill, the better. They can do it with crappie as well. So thankfully, we caught some gigantic bluegill. So they ate really well. So yeah,
Awesome.
It was
Very
fun,
cool.
man. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I'm sorry I missed it.
Oh God, I am too. Well, I tell you what, when we go back down, unfortunately, we know when that's going to be. We'll get old Jebediah. Let him bring in a few.
I'd love that.
It'll be fun. That'd be fun. We'll record it too. We'll put it out there.
You
Put
gotta
it out
record-
there for the people.
Record the
to
first
see.
fish.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah. So it was a really fun weekend. Lots of good experiences again with the kids. Just another chance to get them out there and get them growing up, the right way in the outdoors. Appreciating things like that. So we, of course, we went and checked protein feeders. We did some stuff like that, and again, I mentioned really earlier on this thing that we just had a ton of rain, so we've got some pretty good natural forage out there. The deer are still hitting the protein feeders, but definitely nowhere near as much as they traditionally will hit them. By late June in Texas, things are getting pretty parched. Okay.
Right.
At least in the area that we hunt, South Texas and, West Texas and whatnot. But again, this year we just haven't had the blazing temperatures, and we had a lot of rain. So there's still a lot of natural forage out there, but they're definitely hitting the protein feeders. Still got the cottonseed out. We're going to keep that out until about August, and then we'll cut back on that, and then So yeah, it's been really good. We've got some other little things that we were working on, but we will talk about that at another time, hopefully soon.
Absolutely. Well, it'll be an interesting fall, that's for sure.
Certainly will be.
Hopefully, I don't want to bring it up for fear of putting it into depression, but hopefully dove season will be a little better. Maybe it won't rain between now and then, and things will dry up a little.
I mean, it's tough, it's really tough. Like I just, man, I love it, but whew, it's we need the rain. It's bittersweet. I don't know how many times I say that on podcasts. Bittersweet. Love the rain. We love the rain, but man, it just, when you're hunting over water, it just screws things up.
Right. So the problem here is, it's great now, but at some point it's going to be really bad.
Oh yeah.
Drought-wise. So it's like, well, I guess I can kind of sacrifice for a couple of years just to get as much of it as possible, and then we'll suffer through the opposite way.
There you go.
All right. Well, awesome. Good stuff.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing that with everybody.
Of course.
And
my pleasure.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else?
I think that's about it. Actually, we'll be leaving the great state of Texas, which pains me greatly, to go on a little journey up north to see our brethren in Colorado. But on the way up there, we will be hitting a few of my favorite little towns, one of which is Albany, Texas. I love it. Fantastic small West Texas town, an outstanding restaurant there, steakhouse called the Beehive Saloon. One of the best steaks in the entire state, mesquite grilled. I absolutely love it. So we'll be posting some pictures there. Going to take the girls there for the first time, and then the following day we'll be heading up to the fatherland, which would be a beautiful Lubbock, Texas. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, and when you're driving up there, you're, I guess, technically still in the old part of Texas, right? When you're up in Colorado.
No, that's very true.
So
that's very true. I should go back and say, by order of the great people of Texas, I reclaim
this land.
Yeah, they're like, well, hey, man. I can't do that, bro. Just kidding. I know all Coloradians are not like that. I'm just being stereotypical, all right? Nah, it'll be good. Going up there is fun. To be in the mountains and to not sweat 24 hours a day is a cool thing. So
right.
Looking forward to it. I do love to fly fish, so that's a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll be doing that. I'll see if we can get some video of that. So
you'll definitely need to. I get some good pictures. We got to share it with our folks.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you can tell us some good stories when you get back.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Hopefully I won't get eaten by a burr.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I got. That's all you got. I guess we can. It. All right, folks. Well, have a good one.
Thanks for listening to the Feed Bandit podcast. Just a reminder to text the word bandit to 345-345. And when you do, you'll join our email list where we'll send killer deals on innovative hunting products and services, along with entertaining tips and tricks straight to your inbox. You don't want to miss out. So again, text the word bandit to 345-345, and we look forward to seeing you on the hunt. Until next time, have a good one, and remember to support your local feed store.